Now today we'll be continuing in Abyss, now at floor 92, and the reward here is a level 88 gear, 5 steel set, really good substats. I'm probably gonna use that for either Spez or Charlotte, and with that I'll be using this team here. Actually, first off, let's have a look at the boss, Tywin. Just have a look through his skills and see what he can do. Sword Storm, his normal attack has a chance to provoke 2 enemies, 50% chance. Basically it's RNG at this point. Depending on who he provokes, it might slow down your run. Also, every time he uses this, or every time he normal attacks, he gets a stackable increased attack and speed. So over time, he will be very, very dangerous, especially if the run goes for way too long. Commanding Shout, now this one is actually very annoying, dispels all debuffs from all allies, and increase attack and crit hit chance for 2 turns. Because this skill is so annoying, especially if you're using Kiris to take out Tywin, yeah, well, there's nothing you can do really. All you can do is just reapply the poison. That's pretty much it. All out attack, attacks all enemies, decrease defense for 2 turns, and summons Tyranno guards up to 3 when the caster's health is below 40% or the caster is buffed. Now what you can do to stop him from summoning Tyranno guards early on is to remove any buffs that he has. So that's why we will be using Bazaar here, just to strip out his buffs before he uses this skill. Also, when he uses this skill, it also increases combat readiness of all allies by 30%, and it cannot trigger a counterattack. Now, yeah, just use Strip just to remove his buff before he uses this skill and stops him from summoning the Tyranno guards. Now, Impenetrable Shield, when his HP is equal to or less than 70%, or 40% after being attacked, dispels all debuffs inflicted on all allies and grants a barrier. Now this barrier can negate damage skills, so the only way to get rid of his barrier is to either damage him using poison, bleed, or burn, or additional damage. This additional damage is like, you know, using your guardians, so Arky, or something from Uberius Tooth. That kind of additional damage can take out his shield. Personally, I would use S3, S1, Kiris, and if all 3 poison hits, it will take out his barrier completely. Now, this barrier can also summon Tyranno Guard if he uses his S3, so keep that in mind. That's why, you know, if he has his barrier up, take it out as soon as possible, or at least before he uses his S3. Now in addition, he recovers 3% of his HP at the start of every turn, so that's both ally and enemy. Yeah, that would make your runs a bit slower if you don't take out his barrier as soon as possible. When the caster is buff, all allies are unaffected by increase in damage proportional to max health. It doesn't really affect poison, I don't think, but it does affect artifacts like Joker. Also, damage received by all allies is reduced by 50%. If you're gonna use Kiris, that reduced by 50% doesn't really affect you. When the caster's turn begins, all buffs granted to all enemies are dispelled, and they are inflicted by an able to be buffed debuff, which cannot be dispelled. Now the only way to get rid of this unable to be buffed debuff is to get rid of Tywin's buffs. That's why Bazaar is really, really good here. So not only are you removing his buffs, but you're also removing the debuff that he inflicts on your allies. Pretty scary, but not too bad. So yeah, this is the team that I'll be using. Kiris, Tamarin. Tamarin's just for the CR push and also healing. Bazaar to remove debuffs. Also Clury. But with Bazaar, he also has the decrease attack and hit decrease, so makes it easier for us in terms of survivability. Also, Clury is using the artifact Aureus, which increases the survivability of this team.
I'll take care of this.
So for this stage, the only thing you want to know about is that the boss here can counterattack. So depending on what kind of team you're using, you might only want your DPS to attack the boss and the rest attack either the crystal or the rat. But if you're using a Soul Weaver with Idol's Cheer, then you might want to force the counter from the boss to push your DPS to the front. Up to you, depends on your team composition. Now the crystal can give buffs to a random ally, and also the rats, once they have their skill up, do quite a lot of damage. They do quite a lot of damage. Depending on how you deal with that, either what I'm doing here, using Bazaar to increase their attack and hit chance, or just have a really good healer just to out-heal all the damage that the rats do. Other than that, it's quite easy, and I'm gonna skip straight to the last wave, since this one's gonna take a while. I'm pretty much using this wave to gather as much soul burn as I can, and make sure Tamarin has her S3 up before this wave ends. So yeah, let's jump straight to that.
Let's get warmed up.
Alright, so wave 2, we have Tywin and Roman. You don't want to debuff Tywin at the start because he has Commanding Shout available. So if you debuff him at the very start of the turn, he's just gonna remove all the debuffs. So what you can do here is just normal attack and just let him use his Commanding Shout. And after that, you can throw all your debuffs in. Now for this one, I'm going to take out Roman first because he actually does quite a lot of damage. And if you focus on Tywin and leave Roman out, yeah, Roman's just gonna do a lot of damage. And on top of that, Tywin will summon those Terranol guards. It's gonna be very, very difficult to deal with. So I'm gonna apply as much debuff as I can.
I think I'm going to faint. Listen.
So I'm gonna go for the Tamarin push. Stack as much poison as we can on Roman.
Fight a little harder, Flurry.
Whose turn is it today?
Now I'm still going to use Bazaar's S2 here.
You're boring.
Just to cycle through his skills.
I'm ready.
What do we have here? Kiris. Yeah, I'm gonna go for S2. Now, Roman does have a passive where he, at the start of his turn, he decreases all debuffs on himself by 1. Which means 2 turns of poison will just tick once.
Do you know who I am?
As you can see there, all the poison removed, even though we had 2 turns on it, which kind of suck, but not too bad. We just reapply the poison. We have Tamarin push.
So let's get warmed up.
I'm ready. This will be the last one. I'm a
Alright.
sleepy.
I do want to make sure that when Roman's skill is up, I want to inflict either decrease attack or decrease hit, just to make sure that he doesn't do a lot of damage to our team. Because Tamarin is fire type, and against these ice type enemies, yeah, she won't survive for long. Now I'm going to use Soulburn S2 and Curious here for the poison.
Whose turn is it today?
Well, so we have Bazaar here. All of his skills are up. Roman has his skill ready, so I'm gonna use Bazaar's S2 here, just to either decrease or decrease his attack or decrease his hit. Either one works.
Harder, Flurry. Help me. All right. Maybe I'm working too hard. Quickly! I'll take it. I'm a bit sleepy, but I
Alright, let's add more poison. Nice.
I will destroy you.
Alright, perfect.
Do you know who I am?
Okay, they all have their buffs up. I'm gonna
Time to
remove
put an
all
end
that
to this.
using Bazaar. Let's see what we can do. Oh, we didn't remove the buffs on Roman.
I'm ready.
I can use Clury S3.
I'll take care of this.
Yeah, might as well. I mean, you know, Clury's S3, you can look at it as
Got
a
it,
backup
Flurry? Just like
in
we
case
practiced.
Bazaar doesn't hit his skill. Nice.
Victory!
And also
He's
with
calling me.
Clury's 2-turn provoke, you know, at least you're actually
turn is it
provoking
today?
Roman for 1 turn. Because if you only have a 1-turn provoke on Roman, let's say you use someone like
I think I'm going to faint.
FCC,
Away.
because her provoke is only 1 turn, Roman's passive will just remove it completely and he will still get his turn. You know, if he has his skill up,
Let's get warmed up.
it doesn't matter if you apply a 1-turn provoke on him, he'll still use his skill.
I'm a bit sleepy, but I can.
Okay, we got Roman coming in, decreased combat readiness.
I'm scared.
Ah, we got Tamarin's S3.
Listen.
Go for another push. We can probably take out Roman here.
This is
We'll just see.
stage. Shine free.
I hope this job is a little
Help me.
easier.
I'm coming.
Whose turn is it
We
today?
got one more turn until
I'm ready.
Bazaar's S3.
You cannot.
Alright,
escape
definitely
from
we can
me.
take out
I'm
Roman
a bit
here.
sleepy, but I can fight.
The strength to fight
Oh
back.
shit! Oh no! Okay, yeah, alright. Commanding shot. I should have kept track of that skill. That's why I said it was an annoying one.
I'm ready.
I don't think we'll hit the poison. Yeah.
Do you know who I am?
Nah, I'm not gonna use
Maybe
Bazaar's
I'm
skill
working
here.
too hard.
Okay, we got another
will
push.
Shine. Ladies and gentlemen. Let's
I'm a
shine.
bit sleepy, but I can fight. Here I go.
Whose turn is it today?
What can I use here? I'll use Archie actually.
Archie's turn.
Yeah. I think Archie might be enough to take out Roman. Maybe? No? Okay. Alright, this doesn't look good because Tywin's HP is below 70%. So if I attack him, he's going to use his shield.
I'm ready.
So I'm gonna refrain using AoE skills
This will be
here.
the last one. I'm a bit sleepy, but I can fight.
We hit
Fight
all
a
3
little harder,
poison.
Flurry.
Okay. Well,
Let's get
Roman's
warmed up.
definitely gone here. Yeah, just normal attack. Okay, we got Tywin using his skill. He's not buffed, so he's not going to summon his Tango Guard.
I hope this job is a little easier.
Oh, looks like
I'm ready.
he's not 70% yet. Okay,
I think I'm going to faint. Go away.
Do you know who I am?
but pretty soon he's going to use his... Okay, there it is. Is that it? No?
Maybe I'm
Okay.
working too hard.
I thought that would be it. It has the same animation when he uses it.
The strength
Okay,
to fight back.
now he
I'm
uses
a
it.
bit sleepy.
So what
but
we
I
have
can
to do
fight.
here is... Sadly, we don't have
Whose
Curious
turn is it
S3.
today?
So we'll have to wait this out. I'm not gonna use
Let's
Bazaar's
end this.
S3. I think I'll just use Clury's
Alright.
S3
can't
to take
close
out
your
Tywin's
eyes.
buff.
Listen. To my song.
Yeah, I'm gonna use Tamarin
I'll do
push
my
here just to
best.
cycle through
Shine
Kiris's skill.
Fight
Because I
a
want to get
little
rid of that
harder,
barrier before he gets
Flurry.
his turn.
Spread your wings. Attack. I'm ready.
Alright, so we
You
removed
cannot
his buffs
escape from
except
me.
the barrier.
I'm a bit sleepy, but I
3
can
poison
get warmed
in
up.
total, that is good. That should be enough.
Listen to me sing.
Fine.
Nice.
Got it, Flurry? Just like we practiced. I'm ready.
Yeah, we're going to extend debuffs.
Do you know who I am?
Now Tywin doesn't have commanding shout, so I'm going to use
I'll make you
S2
pay
here.
for touching me.
Here is
I'll
my
take the lead.
I hope this job is a little easier. I'm a bit sleepy.
One more
but
turn
I
until
can-
Kyr's S3. Look at that damage.
Let's get warmed up.
I mean, when you get to this point, it's pretty much a red
I'm
carpet.
scared.
Pretty easy.
Go away.
Judging by how much, or
Maybe
judging
I
by
won't do
how
too
many
hard.
poisons we inflicted on
I'm
Tywin,
ready.
I think we can take him out before he can summon his
take care
Terranal
of this.
guards, I think.
I'm a bit
Or maybe we can
sleepy.
take him out
Here,
before
I can fight.
his Terranal guards do anything.
Whose turn is it today?
We'll see.
Fight a little harder, Flurry.
I think I'm going to faint.
I'll take it.
Oh, close.
Never miss.
Okay, he's definitely going to summon his Terranal guard.
I'm ready.
But at this point, what can you do? This is pretty much over. All I have to do is use Archie. And it's done. His Terranal guard didn't even get to do anything.
No one can stop us.
And there you go. We got our gear set, level 88. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Overall, quite easy once you know, once you know what to do. Because I've done this a couple of times. I actually spent a day trying to clear this, and I was mainly trying to take out Tywin, so I kind of ignored Roman. But as soon as I took out Roman first, it only took me one try. So I did a practice before I recorded, and yeah, it was it was surprisingly easy. So yeah. Alright, that's it for me today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.